Dear gamers, game journalists, the entire gamer community, really. Look, I love Dark Souls as much as the next person, okay? I'm super excited for DS3, and I get that you are too, but can we just, shut the fuck up about Dark Souls? I don't mean not talk about it at all, it's just the game is barely out yet, and we're already inundated with guides and how-tos and introductions from basically every video game website. Like, why the fuck does Polygon.com have an 8-part walkthrough with 12 more parts to come on goddamn day 1? Who is this for? Who does this shit appeal to? I mean, look, they've got this beginner's guide that's actually kind of neat for someone who knows the mechanics of the series, but before any actual words, there's just this video. DS3, the first 7 bosses. That is them beating the first 7 bosses of a game that came out like 2 days ago. And then right there in paragraph 1, they say, part of the fun is in the challenge and we're not here to take that away from you. Then why does this page exist? Again, who is this for? Veteran players are gonna want to go in blind, and when you get to the point of comparing class statistics, a newbie is gonna go cross-eyed and close the fucking window. Guys, a game that needs a manual is a poorly designed game. The NES was 30 years ago. We don't need manuals and 6 issues of Nintendo Power to explain what a game wants from us. But that's just the thing with Dark Souls, isn't it? It's got this reputation as this face-fuckingly hard game to the point now where they're just basically advertised like, come on down to the beating room. You walk in, we beat you unconscious with baseball bats, and you pay us for the convenience. New players hear that shit and pretty rightly decide that does not sound like something they want to spend $60 on. So okay, you're a game journalist, you know that there's folks on the fringe, and you're like, aha, everyone knows these games are hard, so let's make a guide so that new players don't feel so timid and frightened going in. Hey, so maybe the problem is that you need to stop goddamn lying about how hard the Souls games are, because they're not. Oh, but you die over and over, and there's these crazy bosses and hardcore PvP. You say that like this stuff exists in a vacuum from the rest of the game. No. You know what game is hard? Super Star Wars on the SNES. That game throws shit at you from every direction, there's no way to deal with any of it, and you just have to tank your way through and hope that you can outrun the enemy respawns. Dark Souls, meanwhile, telegraphs everything it intends to throw at you. The challenge is that it's tough but fair. It actually expects you to pay attention and not Call of Duty your way through every stage like a trust fund teen popping his first ill-gotten Adderall. The perception that the Souls games are hard only exists because they're pretty much the only AAA titles out there that respect the player enough to let them fail. You have to master the mechanics, learn enemy behavior patterns, remember map layouts, like a video game. Remember those? You want to bring in new players? How about a primer on Dark Souls lore? That's what got me in. Why not feature any one of VaatiVidya's many excellent story summaries? What about a list of grievances from past Souls games that DS3 intends to address? How about literally anything besides, here are the things to do in the game and how to do them? Because if I'm a newbie and I'm hearing all this chatter about DS3, I'm gonna click whatever you've got, and then I'm gonna see all this statistical breakdowns and character building guides, and I'm gonna be bored to tears. I don't fucking care about how faith affects my left hand strength or whatever. I just want to know why this game is worth my time and money. Like, every review I've read so far is coming at it from the perspective of having already played the other games in the series, which is just so nauseatingly exclusive. And you can argue that if it's number 3, then a newbie should start at number 1, but how many fucking people skipped the first Mass Effect and started with Mass Effect 2? Like, okay, I get that a big chunk of readers for these reviews are going to be people wondering how this one chalks up to the last few, but there are so many people who are jumping in now for the first time. You guys, for fuck's sake, the Souls games are goddamn fantastic. Bloodborne is easily in the top 5 best 3D games ever produced. You want more people to play these games so that more games like them get made. Hyping this shit up like, oh man, you gotta have serious hair on your chest to make it through this thing. All that does is make you look like an asshole, and far more importantly, make the game look really obnoxiously dull and uninteresting. I mean, it sounds like you're trying to sell this game on how unfun it is. Like, you're this super cool dude because you made it through this wholly voluntary experience for which you paid many actual dollars. It is, by your own confession, infuriatingly hard, and God, do you not see how counterintuitive that is? Look, there's a place for guides and character building stats and all this other shit, and that's at minimum 2 weeks from now. The people who are going to look into that shit are the people who've already decided they're gonna buy the game, and everyone else, all those many potential Dark Souls fans, you're not giving them any actionable information. On one page you say, is the game good? Yes, no. And on the next page you outline the first 5 fucking hours. You aren't changing the conversation towards exploring like why the series is popular, or why newbies should be willing to give it a shot, or what it has to offer besides its difficulty. And there are many things it has to offer besides its difficulty, but you wouldn't guess that from looking at the coverage, and that's just a goddamn shame. Because now we're seeing more and more unfair shit creep into the Souls games because they have to up the ante with with each new iteration, making them qualitatively worse games. So congratulations, Dark Souls fans. You're ruining Dark Souls, and no one else cares because you've made the series look like an invitational rape dungeon. Hooray!